Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Hello, hello. Welcome to the live event today. And let me know as people are joining, let me know if you are here live today, joining live with me. Put in the comments, I'm here. If you're able to hear me and if you are here live today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to continue reading the book Inner Genius, Outer Guru today, and we're going to read chapter 4 together. Hello. Hi, Kelly. Nice to see you. Happy Friday. Krista, I'm here. Sounds good. Awesome. Lovely, lovely to have you. And so I'm going to dive in to chapter 4 because there's a lot of interesting stories and examples and anecdotes in this chapter. I'm really excited to dive right in. Feel free to put your favorite emoji in the comment if you are excited and ready to dive in here with me to chapter 4. If you have a copy of the book, the PDF version or the print copy, feel free to open up to chapter 4 and start reading with me, or you could just listen as I read. So here we go. Identify your top 3 business goals this year. Rose came to me with a lot of confusion that day. She said, I have too much to do and not enough time to do it in. How will I finish it all? That is a good question for us to begin with today, I said. Thank you for bringing this up. Let's dive into what's going on. Tell me more. I have phone calls to return, emails piling up in my business and personal inboxes, mail sitting on my dining table that I need to check, and an electric bill to pay, and then my husband wants me to help him clean out our attic because we put our house up for sale next week. I still have no time to do the accounting for my business, and I'm just so overwhelmed, and I don't know what to do. I see. That is quite a lot, I said. I guess you need to do all of this and more all at once. Is that correct? Yeah, well, not all at once. But I don't have enough time to do it, and I'm falling behind, she exhaled. Still anxious, but her breath and her voice started slightly slowed down at this point. Now that she had voiced her concerns, she felt like just a little like her thoughts and her body had a chance to slow down compared to the frenzy that she had come in with. That was my intention as well, that from hearing her express her state of mind, she would be able to recognize and be heard, so we could respond to the situation from a more balanced state of mind. From further conversation, we recognized that she had competing priorities, which had created an internal conflict for her, and she was feeling overwhelmed and paralyzed by it all. Which direction to focus on and what to say no to was a big question mark in her mind. The decisions seemed impossible to make, and she kept spinning her wheels without knowing which direction to steer herself in. No progress, no momentum. Let me know in the comments if you have ever been in that place or you have felt like Rose was feeling. Overwhelmed, confused, and not knowing which direction to steer yourself in. Put in the comments, yes, if you have been there and felt that way. To sum up, a well-known conversation from Alice in Wonderland. Krista says yes. Yes, I have personally been there as well. To sum up a well-known conversation from Alice in Wonderland, if you don't know where you want to go, almost any path will get you there. In Rose's case, Kelly says yes too. Yep. In Rose's case, there was precisely nowhere. Now she was trying to get somewhere. I could tell she was trying hard, yet alas, she was getting nowhere. Finally, I asked her the fundamental question. Where are you going, really? She looked at me puzzled. Where is it that you want to go? She took that question in and thought for a moment. She was good at taking in each question I asked her and reflecting on it before answering. I don't know, she asked. I must say, I was pleased to hear that response. With a light smile on my face, I replied, "This is great. Now we can figure that out for you together." She took a deep breath in and let it out and finally settled down. The journey of discovery was about to begin, and I could tell that she was ready for it. With a calm smile, I looked at her and we uncovered her vision, key intentions, and the top 3 goals. Once you know exactly where you are going, making decisions about your priorities, what to focus on and what to say no to, becomes much easier and often a breeze. Therefore, as we begin the journey to your unlimited potential for growth in income and freedom in lifestyle without burnout, in this chapter we will focus on getting crystal clear on where you are going. You will do this by first uncovering what your long-term vision is for yourself in your business and in life. Then you will identify what your top 3 intentions are for this year in your business. Finally, you will clarify your top 3 goals in your business for this year. Having this level of clarity on what direction to focus on is the first step in the process. Let me know in the comments by saying long term if you are starting to get curious about the importance of long-term vision. Just say long term in the comments if you're getting curious, because that is where we're going next. We'll give it a second. And I'm going to keep Crystal, long term, great. Kelly, long term, I'm curious about the importance of long-term vision. Perfect. So clarify your long-term business vision. It is important to start with clarifying your 3 to 5 year vision for your business and then your top 3 intentions for your business this year. According to Stephen Covey's best-selling book, one of the 7 habits of highly effective people, Hello, Barbara. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you join the live today. Wonderful to see you. We are in chapter 4 of the book Inner Genius, Outer Guru, and I'm in section Clarify Your Long-Term Business Vision. So in the book by Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, one of the principles is begin with the end in mind. That is exactly the context of this chapter. It is most important to start with the end in mind. As Stephen Covey says, make sure your ladder is leaning against the right building before you climb the rungs of the ladder. First of all, you will need to understand deeply, through many different angles and examples, about why having clarity for the big picture and the direction of your life and your business is extremely important. You will need to understand with confidence why having clarity on your business's direction is the first step in this journey. I'm going to tell you some stories below that will help you connect these dots. Short-term thinking works for short-term results. Long-term thinking works for long-term results. Both are important, and neither is a substitute for the other. However, there is one major caveat. If a short-term action is damaging to your long-term strategy, then that short-term action may not be worth it. This may seem like a puzzle. However, it is crucial for entrepreneurs to understand, especially if you're feeling frustrated in your business. Short-term thinking is rooted in the attachment to immediate gratification. Usually, it comes from a scarcity mindset and serves well for the satisfaction of an immediate need. It works for short-term results if that's what you are after. Long-term thinking requires a deeper dive into what is at the heart of the entrepreneur's desire and your real why for being in business. This is a mindset which weaves the mission and purpose of the entrepreneur into the execution plan for the business growth strategy. Long-term thinking requires much deeper thought, introspection, and reflection on your true values in life. This type of thinking is challenging. Hence, few people choose to engage in it. Be warned, this is different from overthinking. Overthinking is just thinking surface level thoughts over and over with no real direction or clarity at the end. What long-term thinking is, in fact, deep thinking that lays the foundation upon which a giant monument can be built. The longer you want the monument to last, the deeper the foundation needs to be. Building a long-lasting business and a personal brand is like building a giant monument, one which is meant to last for a long time and serve the world for centuries and millennia ahead. If this is your intention in life, to leave a legacy, you must make long-term thinking your primary habit. The world needs more long-term thinkers. Join me in this mission to create a planet of abundance and fulfillment, to create heaven on earth. Let me know in the comments if this section has inspired you to become a long-term thinker. If that is true and you want to leave a legacy from your life, in your business, through your business, type in legacy in the comments. Let me know. Let me know if you're inspired by this. I would love to leave a legacy, Kelly says. Yes. Type in legacy in the comments and I'm going to keep reading. Staying focused and grounded in your entrepreneurial journey. Krista says legacy. Yes. Zarna's here. Zarna says legacy. Yes. All right. My husband and I were zooming down the highway in San Diego one evening in the car. He was driving and I was in the passenger seat. We had just had a satisfying dinner at our favorite Ethiopian restaurant and were headed back home. We noticed that a car driving in the right lane from us swerved and almost got right in front of our car. The car then swerved all the way to the other side, almost cutting over to the lane to the right of its lane. We noticed this car swerving from left to right within its lane and how it was having trouble staying in the center of its lane. This sparked a conversation between my husband and me where we went back to our initial stages of learning how to drive a car. Chirag, I remember when I started learning how to drive. Initially, I had a lot of trouble keeping my car in the center of the lane, I said. While driving, I would feel like my car is too far on the left of the lane, so then I would turn the steering wheel to the right, trying to get to the center of the lane and stay there. However, then I would find my car towards the right side of the lane. Then I would immediately turn the steering wheel to the left, trying to get to the center of the lane again and stay there. Alas, doing that would take my car to the left side of the lane again, and I could not figure out how to stay in the center of the lane consistently. I recalled my early driving days. At this point, my husband said that when he was learning to drive, he faced a similar situation. He had trouble keeping his car in the center of the lane consistently and found himself swerving from left to right. Let me know in the comments if you've had this experience when you were learning to drive a car or even a bicycle or any kind of vehicle and had trouble balancing and staying in the center. Just say swerving. Put swerving in the comments if you've experienced this too. At the time, my husband said, his driver's ed teacher told him that if he kept his eyes gazing straight ahead and looked far into the distance instead of looking at the road immediately in front of him, it would become much easier for him to stay in the center of the lane. This way, he would be able to drive with more stability. Sarna says swerving. Yes, you can relate. The driver's ed teacher said, Kelly says swerving as well. Yeah. The driver's ed teacher said that when he focused on the road just ahead of the car, which was at a shorter distance, the car would tend to swerve to the sides more often. This is applicable in business and life as well. When you focus on the immediate shorter distance in front of you, it causes you to swerve left and right a lot. This is how you waste a lot of energy and your experience overall becomes stressful. Making decisions in business becomes difficult when you only have a short-term vision of your business. Looking far ahead into the future with a clear direction of where you want to reach, brings clarity and gifts you the power to make important business decisions. With clarity about your long-term vision, you will know when to steer the wheel to the left or right and by how much. It will provide you peace of mind and stability overall. Another benefit is that now you will have much more energy to strategize and take actions to move in the direction of your goals. Through the above example, you can understand how and why focusing on long-term direction of your business completely changes your entire experience. This also increases the chances of you reaching your goals safely. Therefore, it is worth taking some time to define your long-term vision with clarity. Let me know if you resonate with this, if this is making sense so far. Just give me a thumbs up in the comments, a thumbs up if it's making sense and if it's resonating. And I'm going to keep reading. Bring ease to your decision making. Over the years, I have attended many personal development courses and workshops. Kelly's giving me a thumbs up. Awesome. Let's see. One of the organizations that I participated with is called Landmark Worldwide. Krista, thumbs up. Awesome. Yes. Earlier this year, this was last year, I was in a course with Landmark called Partnership Explorations course. One of the concepts discussed in the course was about being registered versus enrolled. Being registered means being signed up for something, and being enrolled means willingly choosing because you want to participate in something. I made a matrix and added areas of my life in each of the 4 quadrants: registered and enrolled, registered but not enrolled, enrolled but not registered, and not registered, not enrolled. Zora's giving me a thumbs up too. Great. Good to see that you're with me here. This was an interesting and insightful exercise because it showed the level of satisfaction I had in my life based on which areas of life ended up in which quadrant. So I mentioned this exercise to my friend Chris. Chris took amazing care of his car and does tons of maintenance to keep the car up, as it is one of his prized possessions. Type in car if you have a car and you love a car, the car that you have, and you take really good care of it. I asked him which quadrant would owning and maintaining his car fall into, and he said it would be registered and enrolled. He agreed that it was no wonder he always felt amazing and energized about his car. Krista says truck. Awesome. No matter what he has to get done for it, and he has a clear vision of owning his car for the long term, and therefore his decisions come easily when he needs to make some. On the other hand, Chris has been telling me for years now that he wants to quit his job of 15 years, and I asked him which of the 4 quadrants his job would fall into. He said it would fall into registered but not enrolled. Now he saw the difference in how he felt about his car and how he felt about the job. He did not feel confident making certain decisions regarding his job because he didn't have a clear vision of the future related to his career path ahead. I offered Chris an opportunity to work with me for a session where we would create clarity for his goal and his overall life and career vision. He accepted the offer and he scheduled time for the session. He said he wanted to quit his job, and I said to him, "That is what you want to quit, but what is it that you want to achieve?" He said financial freedom. And so from that moment on, we called it his goal of financial freedom. And now we had a new, exciting future to move toward and further clarify. It is important to bring clarity to your goals because you don't know where you're going. If you don't know where you're going, any path will get you there, which is nowhere. So know where you're going. And in business, nobody other than you can tell you where you should go in a way that would truly work for you. Only you can know and decide where you want to go and who you want to become through your entrepreneurial journey. Create your long-term vision. I was in a session with my client Sarah, and we started talking about her goals and clarifying them. Type in the comments goals if you're ready for this story. The next story about clarifying the long-term vision and the goals. Goals. I said, let's start with what is on your mind. What would you like to achieve through your business? Lorna says goals. Awesome. She said, I want to not be overwhelmed, overworked, and confused. I want to not feel empty within. I also don't want to feel scarcity of time and money all the time in my life. I don't want to feel low energy throughout my day. I listened carefully to what she was saying and to what she was not saying. I said, I understand what you just said. What you said is everything that you don't want. My question was, tell me what you would like to achieve. What is it that you do want? She repeated to me that what she wants is to not feel overwhelmed and empty within. She said that she felt like she was carrying a lot of burden from the responsibilities of her family and her work, and she felt a constant emptiness within. This emptiness within was quite overwhelming and nagging for her. I said to Sarah, I acknowledge you for what you are saying, but what you have said so far is everything you don't want. Knowing what you don't want is not equal to knowing what you do want. This was key for her to understand. Knowing that you don't want to feel overwhelmed and empty within is not equal to knowing what you do want instead. I continued, so tell me now, what do you want instead? This changed and shifted the thinking gears in her mind. She said, It was evident that she had not thought of what she actually wanted until this point. I asked her to focus on thinking on a different direction than the one she was used to. She finally said, what I want to feel instead is happy, energetic, joyful, full of enthusiasm all day while doing all of my work. I want to feel like I have springs in my feet and I'm dancing, singing throughout my day. I have childlike excitement and wonder in my life. Now the feeling of what she wanted was completely different from the feeling of what she did not want. When she was defining what she wanted by focusing on what she did not want, the feeling was low. When she described what she wanted by saying and defining what she wanted for herself, the feeling became high and quite inspiring, motivating, and exciting. Then we went on to document and clarify all that she wanted for herself in much more detail so that she could take some concrete action steps for herself in that direction. Identifying the direction you want to move toward is key, and making sure it is not disguised under the cloak of the direction you want to move away from is crucial. I want the same for you, so ask yourself whether you are currently defining what you want in terms of moving away from something undesirable or moving toward something desirable. Type in the comments either away or toward. If you are, thinking, I don't want to feel overwhelmed, I don't want to feel stressed, that is away. You're defining what you want by wanting to move away from overwhelm and stress. And type in the comments toward if you are defining what you want based on what you actually want to move towards. You want to move towards peace and abundance. Towards, Zarna says towards. And whatever it is for you is perfectly fine. Kelly, I used to work away, but I'm starting to work toward now. Very good. Very good. It's a great shift. Krista says toward. Yes. Moving away from something painful has a much lower energetic vibration than moving towards something exciting and wondrous. A different part of your brain and energetic mechanism gets activated when you are moving towards something desirable of your choosing. When you move away from something undesirable, you're operating from what I call the survival mode. You are trying to survive this particular threat and just get by with minimal pain, but staying in survival mode causes suffering. There is no room for creation in this survival mode. I immediately identify when my client is operating from survival mode and bring it to their awareness so they can see it for themselves. Once they see it, they have the choice to shift out of the survival mode and into what I call the creation mode. Creation mode is all about moving toward something of choice which is desirable. Moving towards something new, something unknown yet juicy and emotionally meaningful. Activates an entirely different part of your brain called the prefrontal cortex. This is when you can imagine a better future for yourself and live into it from your mind right away by thought and feeling before taking actions to manifest it into your physical reality. This is where you can get into the flow of creativity. This is the magical land of the amazing world of endless, limitless, infinite creation. As someone important has said, everything in the world is created twice. Once in the human mind, and then next in the physical reality. And then I have a quote. The quote goes like this: "The survival mode is a state of being where you are in constant fear of losing your physical existence and identity. The creation mode is all about contributing value to others." So create a vision of what your life and business look like over the next 3 to 5 years from now. Create the vision with as much detail and clarity as you can, first in your mind, and capture it in the worksheet provided in the companion workbook that goes with this book reading. To access the companion workbook online with fillable worksheets, see the Gift for Readers page at the end of this book, or we can put a link to it, direct link to it, in the chat for this event right now. My team can put the link directly to the webpage that you can go in, get the downloadable companion workbook at no cost. That's my gift to you. Create exactly what you want to have, how you want to feel, and most importantly, who you wish to become in your life within the next 3 to 5 years from now. Then I have a quote: "The survival mode originates from not knowing who you truly are. The creation mode emanates from knowing and expressing who you truly are." Tell me in the comments if you're with me and if you are ready and excited to be in the creation mode. Type in creation in the comments. Thank you, Kelly, for sharing the links to the book and the workbook here in the chat. Could team also put it in the chat for the event as well? Krista says creation. Zarna, creation. Awesome. Awesome. All right. I'm going to keep. Kelly says, "I'm so ready for the creation mode. I love creating." Yes. Let's do this. Setting clear business intentions and goals. Once you have clarity on your 3 to 5 year vision, it is time to create your key intentions for the current year, which would move you forward toward your 3 to 5 year vision for your future. I'd recommend to my clients that they clarify their top 3 intentions for the year first. For the purpose of this book, these could be connected with your purpose of this, for the purpose of this book, these could be to connect with your purpose, to understand your market, and to position your business offering in your zone of genius. Use the worksheet in this chapter to define your intentions for the current year. Again, the worksheet is in the downloadable workbook, the companion workbook. So make sure you get that. Productivity experts I've learned from, such as Darren Hardy, say that if you have more than 3 big goals for your life at a time, you have too many goals. Similarly, having more than 3 big goals in your business for the current year may be too many and could dilute your attention. So I recommend to my clients that they should choose no more than 3 goals for the current year of their life and business. Benefits of having clear goals defined are multiple. But the biggest one is that you get to drive with the confidence and clarity that you are moving in the right direction and can stay at the center of your lane in your path ahead. It makes decision making easy and the overall experience of your journey more peaceful, productive, meaningful, and exciting. SMART goals, SMART, SMART goals provide a clear direction and action plan, so make them specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time-bound. See more details on this in the companion workbook. The magic triangle story. In my session with the client, he meant if you have already got a copy of the companion workbook, put in the comments workbook and let me know. If you have any questions, feel free to put those in the comments as well. And I'm going to keep reading the next section. The magic triangle story. In my session with the client, he mentioned that he did not have time to take actions toward one of his 3 goals because he was too busy taking actions toward the other 2 goals. This is when I noticed that he was seeing the goals as being competitive for resources like time, money, energy, attention, etc. Recognizing that it was important to shift this perspective about the goals from being competitive to being collaborative, I said to him to imagine that the 3 goals are each a line, and when they are separate, they are just individual lines, but when you put them together, they form this triangle, which I call the magic triangle of your life or your business. So imagine the magic triangle of your life or business. When the goals come together as 3 sides of a triangle, each side of a triangle connects with and supports the other 2 sides. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. So a magic triangle is greater and more impactful in your life than the individual 3 lines would have been if they had remained separate in your mind. This perspective on how to see your 3 goals as ones that are contributing to each other and working toward the overall progress of your business and life is powerful. Once again, this shifts your state of being from survival mode to creation mode, from scarcity to abundance. Identify your top 3 goals in business using the goals worksheet provided in the companion workbook. To access the companion workbook online with fillable worksheets, see the Gift for Readers page at the end of this book or the link in the chat for this live event. Define your success. You grew up taking ideas from your parents, siblings, other role models, teachers, and people in your lives, and usually your definition of success tends to be an automatic inherited download of other people's definition of success. This does not need to be the case for you. In fact, if you would like to create a life of true freedom and tap into your potential of generating unlimited income through your business while creating an impact for the betterment of the world, it is essential that you define your success by your measures from what comes from within you instead of what other people's definitions are that you might have taken on. As a final check in this part of the journey, review the 3 to 5 year vision you have created, or after you create it, you can do this step, the key intentions and 3 goals you have defined for yourself, and make sure Those are completely your own and do not come from anyone else's definition of success instead. And then we have a quote. The quote goes like this: "It is not your job to make other people's dreams come true. It is your duty to create the life of your dreams and then live it fully, so that other people can have permission to do the same. This is how you serve the world. This is how you live your purpose. This is how you fulfill your destiny." Put in the comments destiny if you're with me and if you have received this message today to define your success according to your measure and your vision. Free yourself from burdens of the past. Sarah was always afraid of setting goals for herself because setting the goal and not achieving it was crushing to her self-image and self-esteem. Not reaching. I see destiny, Kelly, Zarna, Krista. Yes, love it. Sarah was always afraid of setting goals for herself because setting a goal and not achieving it was crushing to her self-image and self-esteem. Not reaching her goal would be debilitating to her self-confidence and make her feel terrible about herself. She felt totally incompetent and like she was a complete failure. Put an emoji, any emoji in the comments if you have set a goal and if you didn't achieve it, you felt the same as how Sarah was feeling. She had set goals in the past, and upon not achieving them, she stopped goal setting altogether. It was the only way she knew to avoid pain and save herself from shame and guilt she would feel otherwise. However, not having goals left her feeling directionless and lacking a sense of accomplishment that she so desperately longed for. Come to think of it, yeah, I see those smiley, yeah, I can totally relate to how that feels. Come to think of it, she had never celebrated achieving the goals she did set and achieve in the past. She had never focused on the goals she did reach and had always felt less than due to the goals she had set and did not achieve. The negative self-talk about missing her goals was too loud in her head, so it drowned every success she had had in its noise. When Sarah came to me, I clarified for her the real purpose of goal setting. In other words, what it is and what it is not. The purpose of a goal is simply to give you a clear direction to aim in, I said, with the intention of lightening the heaviness that had built up inside of her by carrying the burden of all the past unachieved goals and the guilt and shame associated with those stories. The purpose of a goal is not for its achievement to become a measure of your success or of your true sense of worthiness in life. This is an important distinction to understand and own. So I don't need to carry the load of unworthiness and failures from my past goals anymore? She asked, incredulously, and she processed what I had said. Taking a deep breath and letting it out with her, I said with a smile that brought in a freeing, energetic space for Sarah, "You are free to be and experiment with life newly, and can fully let go of any past loads you have been carrying around with you. None of those past goals define you unless you continue to define yourself in those ways. What matters most is how you choose to define yourself. You may free yourself from the past and recreate your future with new wings to fly. You can define yourself as a phoenix rising from its own ashes, completely rejuvenated and new. You may see yourself as the courageous human who can just dust off the past, clean out the limiting self-talk, and freshly breathe in with a new sense of hope to dream a bigger dream." I observed her eyes brightened as my words penetrated her being and woke up her spirit that was waiting to rise for a long time. In that moment, she was free. She was reborn. Her dreams had room to bloom again. She was ready to set some new goals for herself, to give herself a sense of clear direction in her business and in life. She was inspired to bump up her goals to the next level. Not only that, but she also knew the true purpose of goals and the fact that the outcome of her actions toward her goals did not determine her success and worthiness. She could now move forward with a clear sense of detachment toward the outcome of her actions. She could now focus on her goals with clarity and move in the right direction toward the achievement of the highest potential of her genius. Type in the comments hope if this has given you new hope. And type in genius if you are ready to tap into your inner genius. Type in hope and genius if you're right there with me with both of those. And then we have a quote here. Raising the bar for your goals. The quote goes like this: "The greatest danger for most of us lies not in setting our aim too high and falling short, but in setting our aim too low and achieving our mark." This is by Michelangelo. Another quote says, "Our problem is not that we aim too high and miss, but that we aim too low and hit." This is by Aristotle. I see Hope and Genius by Kelly, Krista, Zarna. Yes. I always wondered what these quotes meant to say. The quote by Michelangelo and Aristotle. Now I have found my understanding of them. Here's a glimpse of the wisdom for you to apply to your business goals. When you set goals for yourself, there are a lot of factors that are outside of your direct control. In regards to those, things might not be predictable for you to know exactly what will happen in the future. So it is okay to give yourself grace when it comes to the actual outcomes of those goals. The importance of setting goals is so that you can determine an action plan, and the real reward is in terms of who you become in the process of striving to achieve those goals. Oftentimes when you set a goal and do not achieve it, you logically think that perhaps the goal was too high. And so next time you should set a lower goal in order to increase the odds of achieving it. This could turn out to be a big mistake. I would want you to set an even higher goal instead. You might think this is insane, but hear this explanation and think again. The reason you did not achieve the original goal could very well be that the strategy applied to achieve that goal was itself flawed. For example, I set a goal to write and publish a book in 1 year. The strategy I applied for this goal was to write the book on my own with no help from any team. When I did not achieve this goal in 1 year, if I had lowered the goal, it would have looked like my next goal should be to write a book in 2 years. That would have been a big mistake. I would have continued on with the same strategy of writing a book all by myself without any help and struggling with it for 2 more years, most likely still not achieving my goal. What I needed to do was to not lower my goal. What I needed to do was change my strategy. Now, I recommend to my clients that they bump up the goal instead of lowering it. If I bumped up my goal and set it to 6 months to write and publish my book as a bestseller, I would have a completely different picture and would need to change my strategy for achieving this new goal. I started looking for other options than just me trying to complete the book project on my own. I found value in having a team to support me in the achievement of the goal. I hired help and then realized that a book project is indeed a team effort and has much more involved than what met my eye at first. I got an entire team consisting of a developmental editor, a managing editor, proofreader, designer, marketing experts, publisher, business coach, assistants, and an entire cheering crew to keep me going. I not only wrote and published a bestseller in less than 6 months, but I enjoyed the journey along the way to a much higher degree than I would have by lowering my goal and stretching it out to 2 years and beyond until I would have eventually given up on it. As in another example, in the recent movie Top Gun Maverick, Tom Cruise's character, type in Top Gun if you've seen that movie, the second one. Tom Cruise's character bumps up the goal of completing the mission for the team of pilots from being more than 4 minutes to a mere 2 minutes and 30 seconds. The seemingly impossible goal opened up the possibility of the entire team not only completing the mission in record time, but also of returning back home safely, which would not have been possible with the original goal of more than 4 minutes. Basically, raising the bar from a time frame of more than 4 minutes to just 2 minutes and 30 seconds for the mission created a need for a radical shift in strategy. The strategy shift is what created the ultimate mission success without losing a single member of the team, which was what the entire team was looking for in the movie. If you've seen the movie Top Gun Maverick, you might relate to what I'm talking about. Do not be afraid to bump up your goals, especially the ones you had set in the past and have not achieved yet. The real reason why you have not achieved them yet is likely hidden in the fact that they require a radical shift in strategy, a different approach than the one you have been applying so far. Raising the stakes will help you explore a much better and more appropriate strategy to increase the likelihood of your success multifold. You will probably enjoy the journey much more as well in the process. So, summary of goals management. We've covered a lot today, so summarizing and coming to the close of this chapter, when you set a goal, let me know in the comments. Thank you for sticking around for an hour now. We're getting close to the completion. Let me know in the comments, type in summary if you're ready for summary of the chapter and everything we've covered, and ready to bring it all together for you. Summary. When you set a goal and achieve it, pay attention to that success and celebrate the win. It is the recognition and celebration of those wins that will give you momentum to keep moving forward. Love that. Love that. And type in win if you are ready to celebrate and start celebrating wins and all of your successes. It is the recognition and celebration of those wins that will give you momentum to keep moving forward. This is how you can create positive self-talk and build confidence that propels you ahead in the tough times. When you set a goal and do not achieve it in the time frame you had set, first release any burden, shame, guilt, and negative self-talk around it for yourself. Always remember the true purpose of goals, which is simply to give you a sense of direction. Remind yourself that your self-worth does not depend on the outcome of this one goal or any goals you have set in the past for that matter. Yes, win, Kelly and Crystal, love it. Big wins. You can define your worth. Zarna, wins. Yes. You can define your worth and set yourself free from the past so that you can create a new sense of direction for yourself with a fresh perspective and true wisdom gained from your experience. After you dust yourself off with care, instead of lowering your standards for your new goal, see how you can raise the bar beyond what you might have believed is possible for yourself at the moment. The purpose of raising the bar for your new goal is to inspire you to change your strategy and explore new ways of achieving the goal. This increases your chances of succeeding now more than ever before. Always remember, at the end of it all, it is the person you become through the process of reaching toward your goals that is your most important reward. In this chapter, you have understood the importance of having a clear, long-term vision and immediate goals to focus on, clarified your 3 to 5 year vision, connected with your key intentions, identified your top 3 goals, and you can do this with the companion workbook, and learned how to define your success independently from others' judgments or expectations. With that, we complete chapter 4 from Inner Genius, Outer Guru. And thank you for sticking around as we complete and for engaging in the live event today. Everyone watching this on the replay, just put in hashtag replay, put in your comments, any questions, and I will respond to them. And at this time, we will complete the session and the event for today. Have a lovely rest of your day, everyone. And once you get the companion workbook, and if you have any questions that come up as you're exploring your long-term vision, your goals, put your comments in, questions in the comments, and I'll get back to you in the comments. Thank you, Krista. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.